Hey, I'm Chris.
Welcome to Capturing Chris, my testing grounds for new ideas in travel, photography, and exciting destinations, one frame at a time.
So today, just a quick video about processes and how to put all this stuff together. Kind of my routine when I get back. Maybe it will help you understand, exactly what's going on and what can be done, what shouldn't be done, things like that. So the first thing I do when I get home from a video shoot is I download the information down into my computer on a folder for that day. So that way I know if it is going to transfer correctly. And it takes a second. When you're shooting an 8K, and my feeling is that me as a photographer, I need to shoot in 8K because I want to have the best image possible. Even if it's just a talking head video or on a nature walk and discussing thoughts, because we're looking at nature. So we want to put that in the best format possible. And right now that's 8K. So those files are gigantic. So even though I upgraded my computer to the largest RAM possible for it, not possible, but for it, and have a pretty large hard drive, it still takes 30 to 40 minutes to put that file on my hard drive. So then I start that, I make breakfast. I go back, check to make sure the files are intact and not corrupted, because that can happen from time to time. I open them up, and I'm shooting a lot of my stuff on the Insta360 X4. And I dropped the camera on the driveway when I was filming a video last night and scratched the screen. So I went ahead and purchased an X5. It will be here in time for the Maine Acadia National Park trip. So I was gonna get an X5 anyway, so whatever. And I'm gonna have to send this one in to get repaired. But I'm using a back camera. They're exactly the same. Both cameras lenses are exactly the same. And I'm staring at the lens and not the screen that has the display. And I think that when you're using a phone or using a camera, your instinct is to stare at the display and not the lens. Especially with a phone where the lens is so tiny, you might not know where it is. You should, but might not. Anyway, I then go into the Insta360 app and transfer the files from my hard drive to my Insta360 app. And it doesn't move them, it just moves them there. I don't know how it does it. I don't think it takes up more space. But you might be asking, well, Chris, why do you not just leave it on the disk and save yourself a transfer? Because if you do that, the Insta360 app will come up and say, hey, you need to transfer this to your hard drive so you get better quality running time. So it's very important that the files you use on the Insta360 app are either on your phone or on a hard drive. Because you can do it on your phone. It's just my files are so big, and I'm old, so I like using the computer. So then I go through and I hit play, and I try and put the best camera angle on the video framing. So you do that by entering these like key markers. I just click on a picture and it marks the angle, whether it's enlarged or you can change a lot of stuff with it, all at the click of a mouse or a keypad. So I do that, but I don't save it yet. There's a feature that you can use where you just kind of drag it so you can see a preview so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. So I try and make sure it's framed up in the best possible way, visually. And then I go back and I hit play and I listen to the video, think about what I want to cut out, think about the camera angle, look at the picture. And if I'm out of the frame or something's wrong, then I think, well, or, I'm looking stupid, whatever. I'm thinking, well, maybe I should do a little B-roll and do the other camera. Because ChatGPT is giving me a hard time about B-roll right now. It's saying, your videos are a 7, but if you had B-roll, they might be an 8 or a 9, which I think I'm not showing chat my video. I'm only giving it the audio recording. So I don't know how it knows that. I've given it some, but a lot of times what I'm discussing doesn't really need B-roll. And adding B-roll is very time consuming. So this is where I'd be thinking about if I want to use B-roll or a different shot, I can. Right now, what happens is after I do this process and get everything looking good, then I hit export and I export it into a file on my computer. Now I've got 2 fairly large files. Now it's not being exported as a 360 image. It's being exported as a certain frame. So if I know I'm going to use it for TikTok or YouTube Shorts or something, I go back and I export it as a 9/16. So I export it 16:9 for LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. I go back and export it as 9/16 for the shorter and for a vertical setup. Now, since I'm using Opus, I don't know if I'm wasting my time doing that, but one, I need the practice of how to edit in 9/16. And then if I take the clip that I want to make long and import it into Opus as a 9/16, there's less guesswork and they can just improve it on how to frame it up and they have more to work with. So that's why I do that. It might be an extra step, but I'm trying to make this quality as high as possible, especially initially because I don't 100% understand what I'm doing. So that's what I do. Now, if you think I'm wasting my time or doing something wrong, please comment in the descriptions below. I don't do it because I enjoy working extra. Believe me, I hate working extra, but I do it because I want to have a quality channel, which has a lot to do with other things. I wish it was just based on the quality of my videos, because I know over time I could master that. Whereas storytelling and coming up with good topics and having thoughtful discussions, that's a little harder to master. I think we're on video 18. I hope you see a little bit of improvement. I hope you're getting some value out of it. So that's what I do there. So now I import it into CapCut. So I import it into CapCut. I export it to CapCut. I then import my intro and outro for my channel. And I work with whatever video I have. And I look at it and I cut it down. Now, what I probably should do is do that for both the 16x9 and 9/16. But the 9/16, we're just using pieces. So I'm gonna let Opus cut that and decide what's important on the 9/16 side. The 16x9, I decide what's important. So I try and cut out any breaks, any things, you know, that I kind of don't have the best result with or might not look the best. And put that all in a clip. I then play it back one more time and try and find 30 seconds to a minute, 20 seconds for my hook. The point that I made, the main idea of the video, that's the most important. So I find that, I cut it where it starts, I cut it where it stops, and I copy it. I then go back to the intro, put it in the very beginning of the video. Then I put the copy of the product of the video I just copied before the intro. So now I've got my hook, that's my main idea, and I don't delete it from the main video content. I add it to the beginning. So you're gonna hear the most important part twice, which I don't think is a bad thing. I've been watching a lot of videos and a few creators like this. I like it. As a viewer, I like it because I'm like, oh, he said this twice. I better pay attention. So that's, if it's something I want to emphasize, you might agree or disagree with the importance, but that's what I do. You can do whatever you want. I then add my music. So I'm trying to stick with the same music for each channel. Unless it's the travel channel, then I might make it more location specific. But if you're watching on Capturing YouTube, or if you're watching on Capturing Chris, I hope you recognize it. It's the same music unless I intentionally change it. Or maybe you didn't notice it, but it's there. So now I hit export. And I export at the highest possible frame rate, which right now, not to be redundant in file sizes, I've been doing it 4K. And the reason I do that is because there's a maximum that a phone can, a maximum video resolution a phone can read. And 4K is the maximum that most television receive signal in. Now I could do 8K, but the files would just be massive and it would just take forever. The 4K already takes a long time. So like this morning when I woke up, you know, this was one of the first nights, last night when I actually went to bed at 10 o'clock when I like to go to bed, even though I had video I was working on. So I hit export, and then like 45 minutes into sleep, I hear the video going off, which means it finally exported. So exporting things in CapCut at a higher resolution takes longer and increases the file size. Makes sense. But you need to account for that. You need to know that going in to it if you're up against the deadline. So if you're not giving yourself enough time, you haven't accounted for the amount of time it's going to take for CapCut to download it and process it, you could be in a little bit of a pickle. So I do that. Then after I get the downloaded file, I have a setting set up, and maybe it's the default setting, I don't know. But I get both the audio and the audio with the imagery the video as a file. I take the audio only file and I take it over to Adobe Audio Enhance, and I run Adobe Audio Enhance. So this ensures, because I'm not using a mic, it's so much easier not to use a mic, this camera microphone. So I've adopted that philosophy to it. So that's what I do. So now that file is processing as I'm away. Anytime you can start a file processing before you go somewhere or before you need it or before you're getting ready to do a different task, you should. Just know that if you're processing a file on a computer and you have something else you want to do that's going to need computer memory or going to need access to that computer, you run the risk of it running slower as it does these things. So know that in your processes. But if you're getting ready to go run an errand, go on a walk, like I am, then I don't need the computer. And when I get back, it will be done. So I then take that file, put it into the CapCut Studio and implement it into the video, which when I use Audio Enhance to get the best possible audio, it removes my background music. And I played with it to increase the background stuff, but because the file was still there and the music's still there, that's fine. So I then put this audio file back in the CapCut and I mute the not enhanced audio of the original video, but everything lines up because if it's 25 minutes, 19 seconds, the audio file is 25 minutes, 19 seconds. So as long as I don't touch that file, I'm in good shape. Now, let's say, like today, I have part of the original file that I need to cut because there was an edit I wanted to make that I forgot to make. Now I had to both Control select both files and make sure I do the cuts at the exact same place and line them up correctly, or the audio is not going to match the video, which I find, even though I rarely watch videos, very distracting. So I never want to have that happen with my videos. But match everything up. You're using the original files again. You're not using the file that you just exported. You only did that to get the audio, make sure the audio was as good as possible. I then export it as 4K again and wait. So normally at this point, I'm gonna go take a shower, whatever. Go run an errand, go do something else. I use chat on my phone a lot because you can see the conversations in the desktop, and the phone version's a little quicker than the computer version for whatever reason. And then after that exports, I'm working with chat. I'm playing that with chat to chat, and I'm saying, hey, listen to this, rate it, let me know how I did. Also, come up with a good description, a thumbnail idea, as well as a title that's engaging and will help with views. And so it thinks about all that. I then assess if I like their ideas, And then I go to making the thumbnail. And by this time, it takes about 40 minutes. It's about 20 minutes per gig to export a file from CapCut on my computer. So by this amount of time, I'm ready to upload to YouTube. So I select the video, I upload. Hey there, how you doing? Upload to my account. And then start making the thumbnail, which is usually about between me, Canva, ChatGPT, and Gemini. Because it will say, oh, I need a picture of you like this. I have a green screen in my house. If I take that picture, ChatGPT usually changes my image. And depending on whether they make me look better or worse, I decide if I'm going to use it or not. To take my hair away. I don't know why. Aggravates me. So then I finalize the thumbnail, go back, read the title, make changes, go back, read the description, make changes, and then add everything I need to add my product links if I need to. During all this time, the video is processing in YouTube. That can take 20 minutes too. But because I'm ahead, I don't care, because I also ask chat, when should I release this video? I don't think it's that important, especially when you're as new as I am. So if you're as new as I am, just process it and pick a good time. They always tells me the same thing. After lunch, in the evening, on weekends around 9 or 10. I know Gary Vee gets very specific, but I'm not the Gary Vee's level. So I decide what day, what time I'm going to process it, create my thumbnail, upload my thumbnail, so everything's there, and put it on a playlist, because I think it's good to use playlists. Right now we'll be using the Sandstorm 8-week challenge playlist, because this is part of those videos, part of that challenge. And then I'm done. I then go back, and this is important, clean up my files, get rid of most of the videos that I've uploaded, except then I call the final video final, so there's no mistakes. I keep the original images, which I've been trying to do this with into external hard drives, and I put everything in there that I need to put in there to keep my computer hard drive clear. So when I'm working on videos, I have enough space and can actually use the attributes of the computer. And then I start to work on my next video. Decide, what am I gonna either work on the video or come up with a video concept and idea. In between playing with my grandkid and doing stuff for my mom and doing stuff for the dog and doing stuff for me and everything else. So, and work. But posting a video a day, if you don't have processes in place to kind of make this a refined, orderly process, you're gonna be a little bit of a pickle. It's good to know what you should be doing. Whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But it helps. And that's what I'm here to do. Show you how I'm helping myself, and hopefully it will help you. So, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. The only mistake I've made lately is lack of experience, and thinking that that experience wasn't as important as it was. I'm constantly doing research, making sure I'm using the optimal techniques and optimal processes changes every day. It's a lot to keep up with. Just like a video a day is a lot to keep up with. And soon I'll be doing, 28 to 30 posts a day because I'm going to start selling digital products and stuff like that. So on top of everything else, eventually something will give, or I'll slow down on something. It won't be the 365 challenge though. I'm going to do 365 videos if it kills me. And it might, you never know. But that's it for today. I hope you got value out of this. If you did, or you're interested in the topic, if you could help my channel grow by asking me a question, I don't have any questions yet, or hit subscribe if you think this channel might provide some type of guidance or value to you. I'd greatly appreciate it, especially if you have some tips for me on what I need to change, what I'm doing wrong, or if I can do something differently. I greatly appreciate the comments. And we'll talk to you very soon. Have a great day until we see you again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
This is where I experiment. If you want to see the real side of the journey and some exciting destinations along the way, subscribe now and follow along.
Don't miss the next video. Hit subscribe.